Let us begin to look at some cognitive psychologists and their works. The first one we will look at is Maria Montessori. The name should be very familiar because the Montessori method of early childhood education is attributed to her works. Let us look at the rationale for including her as a cognitive psychologist. She is a cognitive psychologist. However, very many authors and writers do not place her with a progressive, child-centered approach, and there are two reasons for that. One is there is a lack of free play in her understanding of early childhood education versus freedom within the structure of a school or a classroom. Let us take a look at this and see what all this means. This simply means that we have a structured classroom even in early education where students or young children are taught the alphabets or numbers or counting or whatever through the reading and writing means. Maria Montessori, on the other hand, said at that age you need to involve students. Students learn better through play, and play was a key part in Maria Montessori's approach to teaching young children at that age. What this meant was early childhood education had to undergo a change. Even in her time, people did not completely, totally, fully support her. She was on her own because she was proposing something that people thought was not going to work. People did not see the reality of what she was trying to do with young children of that age. Opposed behaviorists focus on only doing, but focused also on looking and listening. Because when you play, you are doing, you're involved, but you also have to listen and you also have to look. Otherwise, you might hit the wrong ball, you might hit the wrong end, you might put the goal in another team's goal, and so play forces young people to do, to listen, and to look. Three key factors that are important in any education, particularly in early childhood education. Unfortunately, the focus that we put on is doing still, and looking and listening are kind of at the back seat, which should not be the case. According to Maria Montessori's philosophy, children will learn to do once you allow them to play, because play brings about language. When you're listening, it's language. When you're looking and you're trying to say something, it is language. Focus on how sensory stimulation from the environment shapes thinking. Sensory stimulation, which means Maria Montessori focused on all the five senses. Young people learn through all five senses. They get information through all five senses. How does that shape learning? What you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, and what you can touch and feel. All five are important, and in play, they come into being. Play requires all five senses to be involved. Maybe not so much tasting, but all the other four senses come into play. That is important for young children, because when they are involved, when they are part of what they are doing, they will learn. Play is a heavy focus of Montessori education, and play simply means active learning. Provide the opportunities for students to be actively engaged, and therefore, in a Montessori classroom, you will see blocks and beads and books and pictures, and all sorts of manipulatives will be present in a Montessori classroom, because the child learns to interact with those manipulatives in order to learn.